This is called a baju kurung. The women wear it. I mean, of course, it's a skirt. Yeah. So the baju kurung, it has a top that goes all the way to the knees, and they have a skirt that they wear underneath. And do you know what she's wearing on her head? A what?
Turban.
Nope, not a turban. Okay, do you guys know what a hijab is? Yeah. Yeah, it's a hijab. But in Malaysia, in the Malay language, we call it a tudung, which is the same thing as a hijab. So, alright, and the last picture, that's a baju kebaya, also worn by women only. It's similar to a baju kurung, except that the top piece is buttoned down and goes all the way to the waist only. And for the Chinese traditional outfits, this is called a samfu. A samfu is a unisex clothing, so both male and female can wear it. Yeah, it's buttoned down all the way, but yeah, it has different patterns all over. So yeah, it's interesting. And then for that, of course, only girls wear that. Yeah, it's called a cheongsam. The cheongsam is very unique because it's buttoned down also, but it's buttoned down diagonally across the shoulder. So yeah, it's quite a unique piece of clothing. And both these outfits come in many different colors, but the main color that people usually wear is colored red, because there is a history behind it. Apparently, there was a village in China that was terrorized by a monster, and it ate the children up, and yeah, it used to steal stuff from their houses and all that. So this one man, he came over to the village and found out about this monster, and he found out that the monster didn't like the color red. He was afraid of it. So to make sure so the guy came back to the village and said, okay, everyone wear the color red and make sure that you put red paper packets on the front of your door. So the monster won't enter, obviously. So yeah, in the end they chased the monster away, and yeah, that's how Chinese New Year actually came about also. It's a celebration of the leaving of that monster, kind of thing. Alright? And yeah, remember the red paper packets I was talking about? Yeah. During Chinese New Year, the Chinese married couples, they will usually give out these red packets. They call it ang paos, and they usually put money in it and then give it to people. So what you have to do during Chinese New Year is just go up to the doors, knock on it, and say "Gongxi Fa Chai Ang Pao Nalai," which means "Happy Chinese New Year, give me your ang pao, please." Yeah, you get a lot of money from that. Seriously, it's an awesome time. Yeah, just go and knock on the doors. Alright? Depending on how many there is in your neighborhood, yeah. And then family members and all that, they will give also. Alright, so Indian traditional costume, this is called a sari. A sari is a really long piece of cloth which they wrap around the person. Yeah, it's not what you just put on, it's something that you wrap around you. And yeah, they wrap it 100 times. It's really tedious, but I mean, the outcome is really good. And for the guys, they have what they call the kurta. The kurta is what I'm wearing also, the top. Usually it comes with a matching bottom, but yeah, I don't have a matching bottom. I still look good though, so. Yeah. Alright, food. Who loves food? I know I do. Alright, so, anyways, we do have our fast foods. I mean, who can resist Subway? That's my favorite. Alright. So, but we also do have our traditional food, like local Malay cuisines. This is called a satay. A satay is basically a thin strip of meat on a stick, and they put it over fire, barbecue style, and they usually dip it in nut sauce. We usually grab nuts and then we ground them, and then we make a sauce out of it. Yeah, and usually dip that in and eat it. It's awesome. Then we also have what we call the nasi lemak. Nasi means rice, and lemak means fat. So it means fat rice in direct translation. Yeah, and who cannot take spicy food here? You cannot take spicy? Who else? You? Alright, everyone else can take spicy. Alright, awesome. So anyway, that's the most spiciest dish that you can find in Malaysia. That's because the sauce that we use over here, we call it a sambal. We usually use thick anchovies and curry powder and chili powder and some chili and all that. We ground them together and make a sauce out of it. And we eat it with the rice, so yeah, it is really spicy. And we also have traditional Malay soups also. And for the Chinese food, oh, I love Chinese food. Alright, Yeah. This is dim sum, and that's also dim sum style. And this is what we call chicken rice. It's nothing fancy, it's just rice with chicken, but it is really good. Especially when you go to the local Chinese restaurants, it is really good to eat that. And that's my favorite. It's called clay pot rice. You basically can choose whether you want it chicken rice or beef rice or pork rice or whatever rice. And you put it in clay pot, the rice with the meat and everything in the clay pot, and then you put it in a burner where it heats it up. Then they'll serve it to you hot. It is awesome. You should try it someday, seriously. And then Indian food. Alright, Indians are really famous for their spices. They love to cook with a lot of spices. Alright? And especially curries and rice. Yeah, they're famous for that, rice and curries. I love rice and curries. That's like my staple food at home in Malaysia. Then we have vegetables, of course, everyone needs to eat their veggies. And the meats also, which we cook in different styles. Have you ever heard of chicken 65?
No.
Good. Then you had better try it if you get the chance. Because apparently it's called chicken 65 because they cook with 65 different spices. So it's really tasty and it's really, really good. So yeah. And don't worry, I didn't forget about the first picture. This one here, it's called the roti canai. It is an Indian food, but if you go to India and ask for it, you won't get it. Because it was founded in Malaysia, by the Indians in Malaysia. So yeah, if you go there and ask, hey, can I have a roti canai? They'll be like, what is this retard talking about? So yeah, so yeah, you don't ask for that in India. You only find that in Malaysia. Alright? The way to cook a roti canai, which literally means mixed dough, is you roll out the dough into a circle, you take it up, and then you flip it and back it on the pan. Yeah, I do that a few times and make it thin, and then yeah, that's how you cook it. Right, holidays and festivals. Alright, so your school year, it starts from September and ends in June, right? Alright, but my school year in Malaysia, it starts in January and ends in December. So yeah, it's like one whole year of school. But the difference is that we have a lot of holidays in between. We don't have a summer break, but yeah, we have a lot of holidays in between because we have so many religions and cultures. So yeah, the circular holidays that we have is like, one example is Merdeka Day. Can you guess what that is? Just try and guess.
Independence Day?
Yeah, exactly. Independence Day. Alright, you're the first person to actually guess that. Alright, seriously. Alright, so yeah, Merdeka Day is Independence Day. We gained independence from the British. Again, the British. Yeah, in 1957 on the 31st of August. So we're relatively young compared to your country, which is like from 1776, right? Yeah. So Malaysia Day. Malaysia Day, it celebrates the union of all the states in Malaysia. So it happens every 16th of September. We celebrate the fact that all the states came together to form Malaysia itself. And of course, we have Labor Day. I mean, Mrs. Sayer and all the other teachers need to break from this, right? Yeah. So yeah, we also have our religious holiday, and we have a lot of religious holidays, right? So Hari Raya Puasa, or also known as Hari Raya Aidilfitri. Say it, Aidilfitri. Aidilfitri. Yeah. It's basically known as Ramadan. Puasa means to fast. Alright? So Ramadan is when they fast, and the reason that they fast is to respect those who cannot afford to buy food and clothing. So yeah, you get it's like trying to understand how it feels like to have no food for the whole day, and that's why they fast. They fast. They start fast before the sun rises, and then until after the sun sets. And then Awal Muharram, that's basically the New Year in the Muslim calendar. So we have the Muslim New Year, and the Muslim calendar is like 1 month short of ours, of the normal New Year. So every year it gets pushed up one month. So let's say the beginning of New Year last year was in October. This year it will be in September, and then next year it will be in August, and so on and so forth. And then we have Maulidur Rasul. Maulidur Rasul basically celebrates Prophet Muhammad's birthday. Prophet Muhammad is one of the most significant figures in the Quran, which is like the Bible for Muslims. Yeah, and they celebrate his birthday. So we have holidays for all of these. And this is usually around 2 weeks of holiday, 3 days, and this one is 1 day of holiday. So yeah. And then for the Chinese festivals, we have Chinese New Year, which is also known as Chak Gomei. So Chinese New Year, it usually falls between January and February. And yeah, it lasts around 11 days. So that's 11 days of holidays again. And yeah, like I told you the story, since the monster left, that's when they celebrate it. Then we have the Hungry Ghost Festival. The Hungry Ghost Festival is apparently during the 15th day of the 7th month of the lunar calendar, sometime of the year, the realms between heaven and hell are opened up into the realm of the living. So apparently it's the most haunted month. And the way the Chinese appease the ghosts is to make offering booths and put food in there and burn red paper so that it can appease the ghosts so that they won't harm you or hurt you in any way. So yeah, don't try anything silly during that period. Yep.
Isn't like Hungry Ghost, isn't that one of the stages of Buddhism?
No, that's not actually one of the stages of Buddhism. It is actually this one is a celebration for the Buddhists, but what you're talking about is the stages between hell, I think. Yeah.
Between hell and heaven.
Yeah, there's the stages between hell and heaven. Yeah, there is a difference there. Unfortunately, I don't know much about that.
Because I remember when we read about it in like 8th grade, there was one of the stages is you'll become a hungry ghost with a mouth too small.
Oh yeah,
too small to eat food, but your stomach's huge.
It's huge, yeah. You're constantly starving, but you can't have so much. It's like saying, would you rather drink water with an eyedropper or eat food with a toothpick? Yeah.
Toothpick, you could stab a whole lot of food.
So yeah. And then the Indian festivals, we have Deepavali. Deepavali is the festival of lights. So most of the Hindus, they would take out candles and then they'll place it all around their house and they'll light it up. Light it up, and it's just all celebration. Yeah. And Thaipusam. Thaipusam is it's like a celebration of cleansing. The way they cleanse is by going to temples, Hindu temples, and they would shave their heads bald as a sign of cleansing. Alright? So if you're a man or a woman, regardless, they still shave your head. Yeah. So it's very normal during that period of time to see a lot of bald people around. Yep.
Alright, this isn't about this part. I was just wondering, how many languages do you speak?
Oh, me? Alright, okay. I speak 2 languages only, which is really sad because, yeah, I speak Malay, which is the national language, and English. But my friends, a lot of my friends, they can speak Malay, Chinese, Mandarin, Mandarin, English, and Tamil. Yeah, they can speak 4 languages, so I'm like considered an amateur with a language over there. So yeah. Anyways, so yeah. Do you guys, who has done hair extensions or worn wigs before? Alright, so one question. Do you guys know how your wigs are made and where the hair for the wigs come from?
No.
Alright, there are people who donate their hair.
Locks of love.
Yeah, there is locks of love also, that's true. But yeah, the majority of where wigs come from, in fact, I think it's like takes up a lot of percentage of where the wigs come from is from India. Alright, this is not about Malaysia, but yeah, during Thaipusam, they shave all their heads, right? And you know the population in India, how big it is, right? Yeah, so during that period of time, the temples would have so much of hair that they would actually collect all the hair and then sell it to wig companies. So a lot of your wigs and hair and all that fake hair comes from India. Yeah, and then they dye it and all that, yeah. And then of course, we have Easter and Christmas. We don't have a holiday for Easter, but we do have a holiday for Christmas. Right.
How many days is the holiday for Christmas?
That one lasts almost the whole of December. That's like consider our winter break, yeah, similar to that. Anyways, so sports and media. who knows?